Heyo, it's your friendly neighborhood Minecrafter No Cones, and in today's episode of Messy Redstone, we're going to be looking at something that's really not that messy at all, and that is, of course, because I didn't design it myself. This is a blaze farm designed by Melody479, which I saw in a JL showcase a couple months ago, and it's the blaze farm design that I used on New Areador. Today I'm going to show you how to build it in your own world, so let's get to it. The first thing you're going to need to do is find a blaze spawner, which can be found in most nether fortresses. Once you've found a good blaze spawner in a good location, you're going to want to disable that blaze spawner, and the best way to do that is to place blocks around it in a 9x9x3 configuration centered around the blaze spawner, just like this. Now that we have our blaze spawner disabled, we're going to want to come out from the corner here and build up 2 blocks, and we're just going to start putting a roof on top of this thing. It's going to be 11 by 11 squared, so it just needs to come out 1 block past the initial box that we've already built. And it's important to use solid blocks here because the spawner is affected by light levels, and that's going to affect our efficiency later on. With the roof now in place, we're going to start working on the floor, and for that you need to come down from here 5 glass blocks, and then we're going to be using some sort of immovable block. I'm using obsidian here, and you want to come down with that 3 blocks. From there we're going to make an 11 by 11 floor, so just come around the edges like this, and it's going to be 11 on each side, and that will finish off the floor here. After the floor is completely filled in, we're going to need to place a 1 high wall across the front of the spawner, and then on the side we go up a block and then place blocks along in this line here. Across the back we're going to do another 1 high wall, and then on the opposite side we're going to do just like the other side, up a block and leaving a gap in between the floor. After that, we need to fully enclose the spawner, and for the purposes of this demonstration I will be using glass. You can use a solid block if you like to keep all the light out. If you do decide to use glass like I'm doing here, you'll have to place half slabs around the outside because, like I said before, you want to keep out as much light as possible. By now your blaze farm should be looking something like this, hopefully, and we need to start installing some redstone. Luckily for us, it's fairly simple redstone. We're going to start by placing a reference block 4 blocks in from the back on the lower part of the farm on each side, and that's just going to allow us to place sticky pistons here in a moment. If you go to the bottom part of the platform, you're going to knock out the very center all the way across. And we're going to place 2 slime blocks right here, and then 4 sticky pistons in a row right up against each other. Finish off that gap with the rest of the slime blocks, and then we need to do the same thing on the other side. 2 slime blocks followed by 4 sticky pistons, and then filling in the gap again with the slime blocks. On the bottom side now we need to come down 2 blocks and then come out 4 blocks diagonally. 1 more here. We can go ahead and knock these out, and we want to place a redstone torch on top of each of those to light up those slime blocks. Can build a little bit of a platform right here to place our repeaters on, this one on 3 ticks, the next one on 1 tick, and go ahead and connect those together. And then build another platform on the other side. This side's going to have a repeater on 4 ticks, then a repeater on 3 ticks, then another repeater on 4 ticks, and go ahead and connect those up. We're going to build the exact same thing on the other side, but it's going to be a mirror image. Come down 2 blocks, place out 4 diagonally, and then put a redstone torch on top of each of those to activate the pistons again. We can build another little platform right here, just like the other side. And it's going to be 4 ticks, 3 ticks, and 4 ticks. Connect those up with the redstone dust, and build another platform on this side. 3 ticks, 1 tick, and then connect together with the redstone dust. On one of the sides you need to place a redstone torch with some blocks coming out, and if you can place the blocks in this configuration, you can go ahead and drop down a redstone dust and then a comparator coming out of that block. Set that to subtraction mode, and then link up the dust so you're going to create a fast clock. Go ahead and leave that last one blank for right now. Place a sticky piston on top of this block, come out 2 blocks, and then place another sticky piston on top of these blocks and put a slime block in between. We need a redstone repeater coming out of that on one tick with another piece of dust. And then out of the back, we're going to put 2 redstone torches and a redstone dust right here. Now we can go ahead and link up one of the sides to this redstone torch, placing down dust all along the way. And we're going to need the exact same thing on the other side, linking it up to this redstone torch and placing dust along the way here. Now on the back side of this, we're going to be building an etho hopper timer. If you're not familiar with that, I'll go ahead and run through it real quick for you. Need a redstone block with a sticky piston on each side of it. That way it can pass the redstone block back and forth between them. Probably be easiest if I go ahead and make a little platform for this thing. And then we need to put 2 hoppers facing into each other with a comparator coming out of each one of them. And those are going to point into a block. And then we need a little bit of redstone dust on the backs of the sticky pistons. I'm going to go ahead and put 16 items in this hopper, and that'll switch them back and forth. Last thing we need to do is put an obsidian block behind each of these, and this one's going to need 7 behind it just so that it can cover up the gap in the floor. And last but not least, we need 9 slime blocks on the top of this. You can go ahead and link up that sticky piston now, and everything should be running. Let me go ahead in here. And that's pretty much going to do it. Now before you start knocking out all those blocks around the spawner, we need to consider where these blazes are going to end up. And that usually means we need some sort of crusher down underneath. I recently found a really cool design by a guy named Snow Crash, and I'll leave a link to his video in the description, of course. Go ahead and bring this tube down a few blocks. And then we need to place a reference block out to the side here so that we can put 3 sticky pistons down underneath. And then we're going to build a platform out the back, 8 blocks out, and then 7 blocks back, and a block up right here. Put 4 comparators going backwards and 4 comparators going forwards, and then link them together with redstone dust. We need a redstone torch right here, and then redstone dust along here. Place a block out this way, and then a redstone repeater on 4 ticks. Torch on top of that with a block on top of it, and then a torch coming out the side of that. Then you can place a couple blocks right here and link up the pistons. You want to place a top side half slab on the top one, a full block, and then a bottom side on the bottom one. Go ahead and extend that tube down. We want to go 3 below the last piston. And you want to extend it on all sides so that the blades fall down nice and neat. And once you have the tube extended all the way down, we can put a floor on the bottom of it. Then we need to knock out this block right here and put a floor for you to stand on. It's best to use half slabs right here. Alright guys, now it's time for the dangerous part. It's time to release the blaze. We're going to need to knock out all the blocks on the inside, and I would highly recommend using a flame resistance potion for this. As you knock out the blocks, be very sure that you don't knock out the spawner, otherwise you're going to be very sad. And on your way out, make sure you put blocks on top of the spawner, that way no blaze will spawn on top of it. And as you can see, we have blaze spawning in now, coming down, getting funneled into the center, and getting pushed into our crusher. I have one little edit for you guys. These 2 blocks right here actually need to be raised up a block, so just stick a block on top of this torch here, raise those 2 up, and then put redstone on top of them. That'll get our crusher working properly now, and it'll bring the blaze down to their lowest level without killing them. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I had a lot of fun putting it together, trying something new. Like I said before, the Blaze Farm was designed by Melody479, and the crusher system was invented by Snow Crash. I'll leave a link to his video in the description, and I'll also include a world download for the Blaze Farm so that you can try it out in your own world. That's going to do it for me and this episode of Messy Redstone. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.